What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be restarting the Planet Coaster series on my channel. Now, for those of you guys that have actually been around for about a month or so now, will actually know that I actually did start a Planet Coaster series on my channel about a month ago. However, I wasn't really happy with the direction it was going in, so I kind of thought, why not take a break from it, kind of re-evaluate what I'm actually going to be doing, and now I actually have a set kind of mindset for what I want to actually achieve within the series, and you're kind of seeing that a little bit unfold now. I'm just setting out the different kind of areas for the park, or at least the beginning entrance plaza and also the main street area. I'm not really obviously going to have it as one narrow path, but I kind of wanted to mark out with colouring whereabouts these are going to actually go. The main focus for this video is I really wanted to get started on the entrance to the adventure area. I've recently acquired the adventure pack, so yeah, it's something that I've been really into on Planet Coaster at the moment, so I thought, why not build up all those ideas and just immediately just flow them all into the game. So yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to be seeing me do here. This is kind of the middle section of the park, where the kind of main theming piece is going to be, should I say. This is where all the different areas are going to split off from, and I actually did pre-make a little kind of rock sculpture thing with my kind of like logo type thing on it, just because I thought it'd be really cool. But I did that off screen. I did that actually while I was doing my own kind of private project, but you'll see it kind of get moved in here from a blueprint. Obviously all the water jets, it was really made for something like this, and I actually made a similar kind of theming piece for my other park that I'm doing privately, so that's kind of where this kind of idea came from. But all I really had to do was some adjusting there, and I kind of just wanted like a little pathway going around this kind of sculpture, and then obviously having it split off on each of the ends to go to a certain area. Now obviously the three different areas I'm going to have in this park is going to be a futuristic area, an adventure area, and a pirate area. So obviously each of those are supported within the game. Obviously, like I said, I just recently acquired the adventure pack, which is obviously where I'm going to be getting the adventure stuff from. That's mainly just kind of like, you know, different things like explorers, really type like Indiana Jones type, like temple exploring type stuff, which I'm really into, so it's really fun to kind of create some stuff like this. Obviously, I am planning also getting the studios pack. Obviously, once that rolls around, I'm going to be using certain stuff for that in the sci-fi area. Obviously, it does come with like a simulator type ride, so I will be trying to add that into the futuristic area as well. But the main focus for the first couple of episodes will actually be on the initial adventure area, because obviously I've only really got the adventure pack. Obviously, the pirate area I will do last, because obviously that is an existing theme within the kind of game, and obviously I really want to freshen my content up and kind of make stuff that may not be in the actual kind of base game, which is obviously why I'm expanding with this adventure area first. So you can see me kind of splitting off a pathway here, and I will warn you guys, there is a little bit of desymmetry with this pathway throughout most of the video. I kind of messed it up a little bit, but it's kind of, I'll fix it like in my own time, it don't really matter, but it was just a little bit of alignment and symmetry issues, but that will be sorted very soon. So you can see me kind of building like a little rivery area here. I really wanted the entrance to the area being over like a bridge over this water, and that kind of does evolve as the kind of thing goes like and kind of evolves. However, it just kind of turned into just like a little bit of water on either side, but that's just due to me kind of doing different, you know, different kind of terraining around the sides of it. But obviously, you know, I've done loads of different projects with the adventure area before, so this is the type of stuff I usually do. The adventure area I've actually created in one of my private parks. I actually did make like a whole like entrance area that was in a cave, so very similar stuff is going to be going on here. However, it's not going to be enclosed in a cave. You can see me kind of raising up the sides here. That's really going to be the main focus of this entrance, just kind of have stuff either side, and then go through this kind of gorge like structure into the main kind of town, which is going to be the main focus of the area itself. Now the first ride I'm going to be putting in here won't actually be within this episode, it will be within the next episode, and that will be a river raft ride. What I really want to do just after that pathway ends is obviously create a bridge, and that will be where the river raft ride kind of passes underneath it. I think that would make for a really cool scenery piece, as well as really interacting with the public as well. So yeah, pretty much what you can see me doing here is kind of trying to experiment with different things to have like the entrance way into the area. I tried doing it enclosed because I love me a bit of terrain in this game, but it wasn't really working out, so I just kind of had the sides raised like that. I'm pretty sure I've made some different hills on the side, as you can see there, and what that kind of allowed me to do is put some theming pieces on either side and have you kind of walk into like the jungle area through the middle there. And I really wanted to kind of increase the kind of theme of this being like a Lost Explorers destination, really kind of focus on the temple. That's going to be the main theming piece within the area, which is obviously where the coaster is going to pass through. I'm actually thinking of using the coaster that actually comes in the pack for this initial area as well, but obviously that will be, like I said, in the later date. But I kind of wanted to add this kind of crash plane in here, and the thing I actually really wanted to do that I hadn't actually experimented in the game yet is obviously to put this within like a kind of cave type structure type of thing, and it does actually end up working really well, and I'm really proud of it. You know, you'll see a little bit of mix and match stuff here. I will be using different rocks, different trees, different foliage, and obviously that will vary throughout the video. But obviously the kind of middle section of the area, as kind of the path extends down, will be almost like a town. I want this to be kind of like a lost kind of temple town type thing. Obviously that most of explorers have tried to go and reach, and obviously due to this crash plane have obviously you know, not kind of reached it properly, which I think is a really cool theme, and it's something, like I said, that I really want to delve into within this game. So you can see me adding the rocks around the side here. This kind of took me about, I'd say, about 2 or 3 minutes. It didn't really take me too long, and it kind of just allows that to be almost like it's in a cave structure, but I do end up having some kind of grass behind where the plane is, just to kind of make that feel more kind of different and more like it's kind of maybe embedded in the wildlife a little bit more. I do obviously add different trees around the side, which I think really do make the area. Obviously, they're all most of the stuff I will be using in this video is obviously within the adventure pack. I try to use as much as I possibly can. However, obviously the rocks are a little bit different, because the only real rocks that come within the adventure pack are kind of like sculpted rocks, and they didn't really work for what I was going for. However, these kind of dead like swamp trees really did work for what I was going for. I think I do actually end up deleting that tree to the side there to the left, just because I think it felt a little bit too crowded. But I would say I'm more proud of the left side than I am the right side. But the right side I kind of had a little bit of a different idea. I actually kind of tried to make some like little building ruins, which did end up looking quite cool. But I'm a lot more proud of this kind of crash plane site than I am from the other side. And this is a really high budget park, so this type of scenery I would say is kind of the norm for what it is. I also did actually experiment a little bit later on in the video with some waterfalls actually on the side of where that bridge crosses over there, but it just didn't really fit. The initial kind of ledge on there isn't kind of straight enough, so you know, it was just a bit difficult to do, and it wasn't really worth doing the training. I think it kind of looked pretty decent anyway. And obviously I will be having the kind of bridge over effect for the river rapids, so obviously we'll have different, you know, waterfall effects within that once that's complete. But yeah, initially right now I'm just kind of focusing on the theming in the kind of wildlife, you know, side of it. You know, obviously with it being like a jungle setting, there won't be too much theming. What I really wanted to go for is to kind of have these kind of statues on either side. So you can see me moving these here parallel. I do end up actually kind of bringing down that terrain here just to allow that to look a little bit more smooth. Obviously, you know, with it being a temple, you're going to have this kind of, you know, like golden kind of aesthetic to it, mixed within this kind of really dirty kind of jungle vibe that I wanted to go for as well, which I think really did mix quite well with what I was actually trying to achieve within this kind of, you know, initial entrance area. So as you can see me moving on here, just finishing up on the two kind of statues, just experimented with some more rocks towards the side of where the kind of initial lake is. So yeah, you know, I don't really do this type of stuff on Planet Coaster a lot. I'm more of like a normal building scenery guy. I don't usually use wildlife too much, so kind of experimenting with different things was kind of the thing here. You can see me, this is where I tried to actually do the waterfall effect. That didn't actually end up working, so this is kind of just me experimenting with different water effects. And like I said, it was kind of fun on its own, so I wasn't really too bothered when I found out that it probably wouldn't work that well. Obviously the mix with like the trees and the rocks kind of was quite hard for me, because like I said, I never really do a lot of that stuff in Planet Coaster. I'm more of like a building guy, so it was really tough and challenging for me, but I do really think it did end up quite well. And obviously I've had Planet Coaster for a while now. I think I've already got like 150 hours on this game, which to a lot of Planet Coaster players may not actually sound like too much, but as a casual gamer myself, it is quite a lot. Like, you know, it's generally above most of the games I play on my Xbox. So yeah, I have spent quite a bit of time on this game, but I've never really dedicated properly to a park until recently, when I've started to get these kind of expansion packs, and obviously really wanted to transfer that over to this series to kind of make it feel a little bit more like it's a dedicated park and series that I'm really serious about carrying on. So as you can see here on the left, I'm really starting to, you know, get the kind of feeling of this kind of jungle entrance here, added in loads of different kind of, you know, pieces of scenery, different kind of trees, and once I actually got going on this initial kind of entrance area here, I really started to kind of adapt and make these ideas and kind of expand them in a lot better ways. Obviously, as you can see here, I really started getting into how the trees worked, and I think, you know, picking up stuff in this game is actually really easy once you kind of start to experiment with different things. It really does make it easier for you to kind of think, yeah, that actually works, I've done that before. And really the main way this game works is it kind of has quite a big learning curve to it, so you're not obviously going to get things straight away, but generally the kind of consensus around Planet Coaster is that, you know, you got to learn the things that you like doing, and once you know the things you like doing, you then repeat it, and it kind of makes it look good in a way that's kind of your unique style. So like I said, this is a really kind of you know, really temple type thing. Like, this is kind of like an overgrown jungle. I really wanted to give it this high budget feel, which is going to be transferring quite a bit around the whole park itself. Obviously it's something that, you know, I've really wanted to do, like I said, and I'm so happy that they even, you know, created this pack, because I've always wanted to do these really high budget parks. But on the kind of subject of talking about the future, if you guys do go on obviously to enjoy the video, make sure to like, subscribe and turn notifications on, so you'll be ready for when the next initial kind of episode for this series does eventually release. So you can see me adding some more trees here. You notice that the tree to the right of that obviously is slanted a bit. I kind of wanted to give that the kind of unstable feel of this jungle, the fact that it's not necessarily a safe place to be, and I initially thought that it would kind of be quite crowded with all these trees, but I think as it went on it kind of looks okay, and I pretty much am losing most of my doubts on that it's going to feel busy. Obviously we will add loads of different things behind this initial kind of hills, but obviously at the moment it's not necessarily something I need to worry about until I start adding in rides, because obviously I don't want to add certain things in, and then obviously when I try to make different rides and attractions it kind of gets in the way. That's kind of what I'm scared of doing, so I kind of wanted to keep it within this area. And obviously you can see me actually starting on this little kind of ruins thing here. Obviously, you know, the temple kind of adventure pack does come with these temple walls, which I actually try to use, and it does look really, really well. And obviously, like I said, the main theming piece for this area will be a temple, so kind of experimenting with the kind of ruins a little bit really does kind of immerse you within this area, and I think it does go pretty successfully. So you can see me trying to smooth out a little bit of the land here, but eventually I obviously kind of end up with just like a 1x1 building, but I was actually kind of thinking that I would make it a little bit bigger. Oh, sorry, it was a 2x2. Get a little bit confused there, but initially I did actually want to make this a little bit bigger, but eventually realising that the train was a little bit off, I just kind of eventually just made it a little bit smaller. So you can see me kind of leaving a gap there, and the really cool thing about this adventure pack is that you actually can gain these kind of temple ruin actual kind of wall pieces that you can add to make it that the walls are broken, and I really had a lot of fun using these. It really did make it feel like it was a broken temple. Obviously it's not going to look like anything, you know, real, but it's the best it could probably get in Planet Coaster right now, at least on my skill level. And like I said, this pack is really interesting. I think the packs for Planet Coaster are really, really good value for money. You know, you get quite a bit in there. Like I said, I am still planning on getting the Studios pack, and obviously I'll be making different things for the sci-fi area for there. But yeah, I really do enjoy making these, and it's a really good fresh kind of take on the game now that I do actually have these kind of extra DLC. So you can see me trying to add a little golden pillar in here, just to kind of make it look a little bit more fancy, but it weren't really working. I tried multiple things to try and make it as best as possible, and it just kind of didn't fit and work right, so I ended up just getting rid of it and just having this like an overgrown temple thing, temple ruins. And then obviously as we go into the area, the temple there is most likely going to look a little bit more grand, and obviously a little bit more impressive. But yeah, I didn't really want to spend too much time on this building, so I will wrap it up in a second. And I just wanted to then add different vines and stuff on the side, and obviously this is a work in progress. I may even go back and change a couple of things on here, but generally, you know, I'm happy with the way it's initially gone. And obviously I actually add a little kind of river, like lake thing here, and I actually do end up liking this quite a bit, and adding kind of rocks behind there, kind of having it as like a cliff face type thing. And I do end up having a platform in the middle that holds a couple of jewels, just to kind of show that it's a little bit of scaffolding that maybe, you know, previous explorers have made, or the kind of inhabitants of the temple have made. And I think, you know, this real kind of enhancement on theming really does help create a story for your area, which is what I really kind of want to create with this. I want the story to be that you've just come across this really grand temple that explorers have tried to visit and try to explore for years, and you're the only real ones that can actually explore it properly, and you're going through these kind of ruins and seeing these different kind of architectural builds. And obviously this may not be the most exciting episode, obviously I'm only really creating the entrance here, but obviously things will really kick off when I obviously obviously make the rides in the next episode. But I think, like I said, I'm really happy with the way this has gone. I'm really happy how it turned out, and I think it's a really good immersive start to obviously the area. So you can see me doing pretty much the same type of thing in the back there that I did on the other hills, just kind of adding some trees in. I did actually kind of experiment. Oh God, sorry, pardon me. I did actually try and experiment with, leaning the tree forward a little bit like I did on the other one. But eventually I kind of realised that it didn't really work for this. There wasn't really enough space, so I just kind of kept it like that. I think the kind of rock kind of lake thing there, and obviously the temple ruins really does kind of act as a theming piece in itself, so I didn't think I really needed anything big in the background there. But obviously, like I said, this will be something that I do expand on in the future. So you can see me just, like I said, adding in more rocks on the back bit there, and I actually had these kind of torch things in, which I actually think really do look cool at night. And I did actually do a little bit of light work off screen, just adjusting some lights so it looks a little bit cooler in the dark. You do actually see me at the end of the video switch to a darker kind of scene, just so you can get a little bit of an idea of what that looks like initially. But I have done a lot more work on the lights off camera, just to try and make it look a little bit cooler. But these torch things are really cool. They do actually come in the adventure pack, and they do really fit in well with the theme I'm trying to get. And you can see me adding the jewels in here, which also do as well come in the adventure pack, and I think it does also really enhance the Planet Coaster experience, because you can use these jewels anywhere really. If you really want to use them in the pirate area, you can 100% do that. So I think most of these packs you can pretty much use in whatever way you want. You don't necessarily have to do an adventure theme with this stuff. It could just be some normal trees you use, some normal bushes. I think that's really predominant in the Studios pack as well, because you can really expand and use that in different ways, which I'm really excited about doing on not only this series but also in my own time when I do eventually actually get the Studios pack. So you can see me adding in the vines on the side of the building here, just to kind of make it look like it's overgrown. And I'm really kind of fiddly around about this stage with what theme I'm actually putting in, because slowly but surely I actually start to kind of add a little bit too much in, and it does get quite crowded. So I do end up taking quite a bit out of this initial kind of right hand side, but most of the stuff you're seeing now does actually get kept in there, so I wouldn't really worry. But like things like that tree, I'm fairly sure I actually do get rid of. So you've got to remember, the pirate area is going to be going straight ahead here, so I don't really want to intersect too much of the theming there. I kind of want them to be their own little things, but obviously, yeah, I just kind of had to bear that in mind, and obviously bear space in mind as well, because I really don't want it to feel too crowded, because obviously it would be difficult to see pieces of theming, and then it wouldn't really be worth it having it there. And that actually, starts to be evident later on, when I actually kind of add some theming pieces at the top of the hill, but then kind of slowly realise that you wouldn't exactly see those pieces of theming unless you were generally looking for it, which in a way could be very cool, but in my eyes that it wouldn't really work for this game, and I kind of just want to add some different wildlife pieces in there. So you can see me actually experimenting and adding some different new pieces of theming in here. I'm pretty sure later on, or just a minute ago, I actually added a truck in, just to kind of make it once again feel more like an explorer's destination that obviously has failed miserably. Obviously hence the crash plane and like the really worn down kind of trucks and things. I think that does, like I said, help the environment and help the theme, but doesn't necessarily fit. So I didn't want to add too much of that in, and that kind of one truck there is the only truck I actually add in, period. I do try and add some more kind of temple-y things at the top of the hill, like I said, and it just didn't really work. So the plane wing also is kept there. I thought that was really cool. I was actually planning to use that plane wing on the left hand side, but I thought with that already having a plane there, it wouldn't really fit properly, because obviously the plane there's obviously still got its wings intact, but obviously, yeah, it works a lot better on the other side, making it look like there's been more than one explorer trying to get within this area through many different means, obviously through planes, through trucks, through vehicles, and obviously you're the only ones that can get in because you're on foot. So I think that was a really cool kind of approach that I actually did make here. So you can see me, like I said, adding some different things up on the hill there, and initially that skull did actually look pretty cool, but like I said, I thought the more I did it, the more crowded it came, at the top of the hill, and the more I kind of slowly realised that not too many people are actually going to see that up there, so there's no real point in dedicating a lot of theming to that area. So I eventually just kind of left it as it is, and kind of added some bushes and rocks in there just to make it a little bit more kind of wildlife focused, rather than just having theming around every single corner. So this is pretty much what I do in the bulk of this video. There's not really too much I add here. Like I said, it's a work in progress, and I do actually end up painting the actual terrain in a second, just to make it look a little bit more like it's in like a jungle, which does make a huge difference. And it's something I don't usually actually do on Planet Coaster, and I'm glad I did it here, because it really does transform the area and make it look a lot more like what it's supposed to look like. And I'm pretty sure as we get into making the other areas, it will obviously make it a lot kind of distinct to the other areas, having that kind of terrain paint in there to make it look a little bit different to everything else we have on the park. So you can see me here just adding loads and loads and loads of theming on that main spot up on that hill, and I just slowly start to realise that it just doesn't work, so it's just something I eventually do take out. And obviously I want to save some things for the actual area itself, because obviously we're going to be having a river raft ride, so that will go into a little bit of the deeper parts of the jungle. Like, we've got huge space behind this initial pathway leading into the area here, so yeah, it's really exciting, the opportunities I can create, but I didn't want to waste all those opportunities looking at it from in here. So you can see me giving a little bit of the lights there, and that is pretty much it. That is our park, or our entrance to the adventure area that we have here. I'm really proud of it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Like I said at the beginning, definitely turn notifications on and subscribe if you do want to see more content like this, and obviously be notified when the next episode comes out. So with all that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.